and it takes place 200 years after a great war between zebra and pony kind. It revolves around a mixed post-apocalyptic universe of Fallout and My Little Pony. It follows the stable dweller Little Pip, who abandoned her stable, which is the equivalent to Waltz in Fallout, to find her friend Velvet Remedy. Now that's that out of the way, what do we do? There's a big gap between the Fallout Equestria, the wasteland we know from Fallout Equestria, and the Equestria we know from the actual show. Our task in the PABS project is it to explain how it came to this conflict. What's the origin of all this conflict? So how did it came to this? How did raiders came to be? What happened to Settle Arabia? And what happened to the cities and the zebra survivors? We will cover everything from right before the bombs fell until Little Pip steps out of the stable. And we are going to call this Fallout Equestria, Untold Stories of the Wasteland.
One of 6 things are about to happen. The consequences will be felt far and wide as they ripple through the wasteland. Consequences that will be decided by none. This wasteland provides fertile ground for the propagation of these consequences. Infinite names and infinite possibilities. And every pony has a story behind them, and even the slightest of actions, from the least known of ponies, have created the world we live in. As some would say, this wasteland is in chaos. Others would say good luck, but truthfully, there's no such thing.
And that's our trailer, wow. So we got this team and stuff, and that's all great, and we have a really fancy trailer, but how does all this work? The way our studio works is by gathering all these different creators with different skill sets, whether they're artists, whether they're, I don't know, a plumber, whether they're a musician, whatever they do, we put these into departments. These are made up of writing, 2D art, animation, music, voice acting, post-production, and lastly, public relations. These departments are then brought together and organized by team leads who then delegate these departments. And of course, like any other story, it starts with writing it.
Well, like with any project, we can't animate something that isn't. That's what we have our skilled writing crew for. Since there is no pre-existing canon story of the war's creation from Fallout Equestria, we have a lot of freedom to create our own story. The writing department is led by the South African James Vermont, who is also a hardened writer from Stapletech Studios, and Captain Horse, who some of you may know from his animations, but he also made a name for himself from writing stories. And together with the rest of the crew, they create the foundation of our product, which includes plot creation, character creation, writing the scenes, and much, much more.
And there are some blacked out looks of how the script looks, with spoilers. So when these characters and scenes and episodes in the end are created, that then passes on to 2D arts. 2D is led by me, together with Captain Horse, and our job in 2D, even though we're SFM, we still have a concept art department, and a few people question this, like, can't you just do it in SFM? The reason we're so important is the same reason we have a concept art department in Stapletech Studios and even Overmare Studios. We're the ones who bond the writing team, who just writes it on paper, and the 3D team, who has to model this in 3 dimensions. We create everything by discussing and visualizing every character, every prop, every environment, and much, much more. This doesn't just require that someone's really good at art. In fact, some you might consider a bit subpar. What's important in our concept art department is that you have a good understanding of culture, you have a good understanding of progression of the wasteland, of architecture, atmosphere, so on and so forth. And most importantly, we need to bind our whole story that's, again, unbound from the original Fallout Equestria together in a unified design, so we don't just have a green alicorn in the left corner and Little Pip in the other corner and a wasteland that doesn't fit together. To make sure we're getting the best out of our product here, we gathered some pretty substantial artists. A few of these are, for example, Dark Sidage, who's sitting right here. Again, the concept art director of Stable Text Studios, also known for a lot of his drawings from Project Horizons. On board, we also have the James Cork, who you might know from his comic, and also the artist for, one of the artists for Brony Scott. On board, of course, as mentioned, we have Captain Horse, who also does concept art, mostly props, who's mostly known for drawing and animating for the BuckCon promos, as well as Ian Anderson, who is a longtime former Stable Text Studios member and the former concept art director of Stable Text Studios. Now, a really big part of PABS as a whole, and especially the 2D department, is cooperation. We work together on these tasks and use each of our special abilities, something we're especially good at as individual artists. Some might be good at line art, some might be good at coloring, some might be good at pony anatomy, who knows? We're using this to make something that's beyond our individual capabilities. So instead of just having one artist do that and one artist do that, we combine our artwork to make it the best it can be. For example, here's a concept I did of Fluttershy and Sakura, and I'm not very good at line art or coloring. So I did the anatomy, layout, everything you see here, and then James Cork goes on to make the line art, coloring, shading, everything like that. This is an example of something we make that is well beyond what we'd be even close to making on our own, but together we can do that. The last big point of 2D is our custom output. As Sidich mentioned, we aren't relying on an already written story. The wasteland, before the bombs fell, for that duration of 200 years that KCAT's Fallout Equestria doesn't document, means that we can make whatever we want. That doesn't mean we should go out and make an alicorns again that's rainbow colored, black, and super edgy. It means that we can make something that's base level the best it can possibly be. And with this team and this cooperation, we've achieved, in my opinion, a near perfect mix between the familiar atmosphere we all know and love from My Little Pony, as well as the dull atmosphere from Fallout. All right.
Next, we have got voice acting. The voice acting department is led by Taylor J. Voices, who is also a voice actor from Stable-Tech Studios. Voice acting is a huge part of any form of entertainment. It's the bridge of seeing and knowing a character. So that's why it's very talented voice actors are extremely important. Our voice actors range from long-time studio members, studio directors, professional radio presenters, and many more. They also undergo full post-processing and editing in Adobe Audition. But we'd be spoiling everything if we just showed you some finished lines. So instead, here's when things didn't quite go according to plan.
Okay, time to do the lines for General Shifter. You old colonial British, yes. Hello, laddie. Orders are orders. Up starts the villain. I will have you clapped in a naval convoy, and then you will know what orders are all about. You, droppy, drop your hook into this baby now. I'm first. I'm the best, 'cause I'm the general. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout.
Personally, I think we should catalog. Personally, I think we should catalog every zebra in Equestria. They are too dangerous. Sound like Jonah Jameson. Bring me pictures of Spider-Man, damn it! Sanctions have been placed on imports from Zebra. Now apparently I'm going Mr. Sulu. Oh my. Personally, I think we should catalog every zebra in Equestria. They are dangerous. They're bringing crime. They're bringing chems. And some, I assume, are good people. Trump for Princess 2016.
Thanks for the chivalry. What? Thanks for the chivalry. Thanks for the chivalry. Damn! Ah, come on. How do you shave? Because, honestly, you missed a little bit. No, right there. Right there. No. Up a bit. Left a bit. No. There, yes. Improv.
This is the name those spies have given themselves? They will regret... regret. It seems like wabbit season's everywhere.
We have moved to our new domain, and in case you haven't got the joke already, I am talking about our brand new YouTube channel. But before you go and check out our shiny new digs, let me tell you about some of the conventions we're hijacking. For f***'s sake, I wasn't meant to say hijacking. Yes, a brand new one with less complicated address. That's our, and by that I mean my, fans can find our base of entertainment much easier. You can find it along the hallway down the... You can find it along the hallway alongside the... You can find it down the hallway to the... And possibly others. That's it. Yep. For fuck's sake, I just read out the f***ing director lines. And possibly others. That's it. No... You've done it again! And that's it. Oh my god. And possibly others. Yep. And I am super excited to... Fuck this. Screw you. I'm the... Fuck's sake, We have moved to our new domain, and in case you haven't got the joke yet, I am talking about our YouTube channel. But before you go and check out our shiny new digs, let me tell you about some of the conventions we're attending. That's BrabsCon. Fuck's sake.
Expanding this universe means more voice actors are needed. Those can range from booming to shy voices and from light to low voices. So applications are open on our official website for those who may be interested, but more on that later. Now comes animating these characters.
Of course, we have animation. Animating these horses is pretty fun. It's led by Joystick up there in the left and Kelchan Ferret up there in the right. Animation is parted into three major categories, some subpart categories. We have modeling, animation, and mapping. Some of our members include Eredicor and Stan, some you might know from Project Doors. We have Jolly Old Cinema and Kelchan Ferret, also very known as SFM animators, as well as Jaris and Argo Damon. So our animators are usually pretty lazy, don't say I tell them yet. But other than our trailer there you saw earlier, they also made our recruitment video.
Manual override conditioner. Cryogenic stasis. Suspend.
Getting character. Is it on?
Yep, we are ready to roll.
Alright, good. Now, can I do the voice?
No.
Screw you. I'm the overmayor stallion, and I do what I want.
Did you just...
Look, screw you. This is what the script said. I'm just doing my job.
Fine, let's just get this over with. I'm doing the movie adaptation of Daring Do later, and I really need to find a fridge she'll be able to fit in.
What? Why would... never mind.
Rolling!
Oh, Have you ever wondered what goes on outside the stable doors?
No!
You ever wonder why we're here?
Again!
We live in a world baptized by green fire, born from hatred and filled with ponies. There are more stories.
No, just do it the way I said to do it. God damn it, stick to the script, man.
No, you don't care about how it was done, but I do. We're here because so many stories, and it's important that we tell them. If you're passionate about telling the stories that made the world we're in, then contact us. If you're a writer, SFM animator, musician, artist, plumber, any of that good stuff, and you want to be part of this great anthology of fully animated Fallout Equestria stories, then join PABS or PABS. They never really told me how to pronounce it.
That was a bit too dramatic.
Screw you, was that too dramatic, Mr. Bellfire Bombs Can't Melt Lead Fridge?
Oh, shut the hell up.
Our next department is music. Music is very special to a lot of us. Music has the ability to change our mood. I know if I listen to techno, I'm getting a really good mood, and I can listen to Lullaby for a Princess, and suddenly I feel really sad. Music in animations could be anything from the dramatic orchestrals during battle scenes to violin pieces after someone's died to the hand-trembling lead-up to the fall of the bombs over Camelot during the war. Now, we aren't going to show any fancy slides from music, because that's not what it's about. It's about the sound. So here's a short demo.
Our next department is an often overlooked one, post-production. The lead of the post-production department is Christopher Dixon, also known as Knightley, and he's also the director of the post-effect studios of Stapletech Studios. They use Adobe After Effects to touch up final works of animation. They add in advanced special effects, white balance, transitions, particles, etc. All that stuff that just isn't possible in SFM. But what difference does this actually make? Well, let's see in our trailer how it looked before and after post effects.
One of 6 things are about to happen. The consequences will be felt far and wide as they ripple through the wasteland. Consequences that will be decided by none. This wasteland provides fertile ground for the propagation of these consequences. Infinite names and infinite possibilities. As some would say, this wasteland is in chaos.
Okay, completing our little circle of departments here, we have public relations. Public relations are responsible for communicating with the public, with you guys, and plan convention trips like this one we're at right now and the one we had back in April in San Francisco. Also the ones who make all the presentations, like the one you see right here, this PowerPoint, and also manage the content that we put out, stuff like official episodes, concept art, so on and so forth. So we've been talking about our content for a little while now, you might have noticed, but we haven't really told you how to reach us in any way. We have a few social media. First off, we have a YouTube. Here we release all our trailers, all our recruitment videos, and most importantly, our main story content. YouTube.com/PABS Project is where to find it. You also have our Facebook, Facebook.com/PABS Project. Here we release some more down-to-earth stuff like unreleased concept art, stuff like frames and work in progress, where you can see how far the series is coming and how we work together to make the series the best it can possibly be. Most importantly, though, we have our website, pabsproject.com. The reason our website is so important is that, of course, you can read about the team, you can see news on the blog, you can contact us for inquiries if you want to get some press stuff, you can check what we're doing exactly and get familiar with the departments. But what's really important is that little button up in the top right that says Apply. PABS Project, just like Overmare Studios and just like Stapletech Studios, PABS Project is reliant on the fandom to help us. We're reliant not only on your feedback, but for individuals to help us. Not just individuals like Argo Damon and Captain Horse, but the little guys. I'm sure as hell not famous on the internet, God knows that, but I've been of great help in the studio after I found out that, hey, you know, I can help, and it's been feeling great to help. Again, as was mentioned in our recruitment trailer, whether you do art, whether you do writing, whether you do music, anything you think can contribute to helping us, we're interested. PABSproject.com, and of course you can read about it, but make sure you check out what positions are open under applications. So that's about it for us right now. The next thing we're planning is a little QA session. We're a pretty new studio, and last time we had quite a few questions. So we can do a simple hand raising, I guess, if anyone has questions. Go on. How much we consider side stories like Project Horizons? What's important for us is to follow from the show we know up to the original Fallout Equestria series written by KCAT. So something like Project Horizons, there may be, you know, some hints here and there, some Easter eggs perhaps, but for now, we're just trying to get the baseline between the show and the original fan fiction. Anyone else? How much content do we release to plan? You mean just series, animation, episodes? Yeah, episodes. Okay. Right. So right now we don't have, fantastic, thank you. We don't have a straight set duration of each episode, nor how many episodes or seasons there are going to be. What's important is that because of the way we showed off we work together and how we collaborate with not just famous artists or stuff like that, but as a whole with the fandom, means that we can make the series a reality in a much shorter time frame than almost any other Fallout Equestria studio. And I say that as a person from Stable Tech Studios in Overmare, just like him, that we're going to be able to finish this in a lot shorter time frame because we're more efficient. But you can shoot for anything between, I'd guess, 10 and 15 minutes for each episode, and up to probably 10 episodes per season. Other questions? Hands up. Yeah?
I applied in the beginning of the year for voice acting.
Okay.
I completely forgot to send anything. I completely forgot to do my reels because I started working. Can you forgive me? Can you forgive me?
Right. So for anyone who's applied to us already, there was a short week's duration where unfortunately Google servers were not working correctly, and that led to us losing some applications. So actually, chances are, if you've been in with that period of applying, we might not have gotten it, which super sucks. If anything, apply to us again, and we usually get back within a week at tops.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So you have some amazing concept art. Have you ever considered going, in terms of animation, going with more of a animated, like comic book kind of art style instead of going with 3D animation?
The reason we use 3D animation is that we know how complicated 2D animation is. Mainly, Sidic and I here from working in Stable Tech Studios who do 2D animation. Sidic here, of course, still a member, and a very important member for STS. The reason we chose SFM was because we had the chance to reach out to people like Argo Damon and Kelchan Ferret, Joystick, other very well-known SFM artists, and get some of the best SFM content you can possibly see out there on the table. Furthermore, if we said we're just doing an animated series, we wouldn't really be standing out much from someone like STS. We'll leave STS to do their thing. All due respect, they're a fantastic team and are doing a great effort. We're just kind of doing our thing in SFM because it's faster, it's a bit more reliable, and it's something we can release, as I mentioned earlier, in a smaller time frame.
All right, thanks.
Yep. Other questions?
Thanks. I would like to ask if your project interferes somehow with your other project, like the Stable Tech or the Overmare Studio, if you somehow partake or share something, or if it's completely independent.
Right. So, all due respect to the GalaCon crew here are incredible. Unfortunately, we had a mistake in our application, and PABS isn't officially, although we do work with them somewhat, especially since, again, we're a member of the other two studios, PABS isn't as such affiliated with the two studios. The way we stand out is the way we presented here. We're not here to bash on anyone else or say that we're better than any other studio, for example. But we do like to believe, again, as studio members of the other two internally, that we're going to be able to get it done quicker just from our methods of doing stuff. Other questions? Can you speak a little louder? Sorry? Oh, there we go.
Has ever Hasbro contacted you about the art being too similar to the original series?
Have we been contacted by the art being too similar? That's what you're asking? Okay. No, we have not. Some of you might know S.R. Davies from Stable Talk, from Stable Tech Studios, who also does PR in Stable Tech Studios formerly. He is also on the public relations team of PABS Project. And very early on in PABS Project, even before I came in, Davies was very quick and very good at contacting both Hasbro and Bethesda and slamming down deals saying, we can use this, this, and this. We can't use that, that, and that. So for example, using SFM, we can't use 3D content from Fallout, for example, but we can base it on it as long as it isn't too similar and we aren't using any trademark names or anything trademarked in the game itself. or the trademark name, for example, we're good to go. Same goes with Hasbro. Copyright exists for very specific material, for example, a character, not an idea. So we can base it off of it and have, a pretty blatant, like, this was inspired by X, for example, a Pip-Bug, inspired by the Pip-Boy. As long as we don't name it the Pip-Bug and don't use the model, we can basically do it without getting slammed on. Good question. Other questions?
So if you can't use the Hasbro characters, how do you want to start from the Hasbro created Pony World? How can you start?
Okay, so question there being basically how we're gonna use already copyrighted kind of characters when we're starting from that. What we're most likely going to do is either not including the characters visually, or as I said, base characters that base them on the characters from the show, much like Stapletech Studios did, for example, to avoid copyright infringement. They made characters that were based on the original main six, but differed in naming and differed in sign, but were still kind of, relatable. That's unfortunately just about the only way to get around it, but most likely you can expect just not to see them visually, rather be talked about. Good question, thank you. Other questions?
I have a question. We've seen Fluttershy and Sakura in your artwork presentation. Yeah. What's about them both? Are they in the game or are they just an example for your work?
Right, that's just example for work. If we use that for actual character concept, again, that would be ripping off the actual show characters and designs and even names, and we'd get beat down pretty hard for that. Understandably, though, Hasbro has to keep their copyright. They have to do that. But that's just an example between two studio members, me and James Cork, and how we work together in the 2D department. Thank you, though. Other questions? I think that might be it. Okay, well, thanks everyone for coming. You can see us around the convention. We have business cards up here in case you want to join the team, contact us later, or just know more about the website, and you're free to ask more questions. Thank you very much.